true psychopath. When you're lost, take your trust. That's me. That's so sick. I'm a fraud, call me a liar. A true psycho. Woo. I'm a fraud, call me a liar. A true psychopath, don't love me. When you're lost, take your trust. Yeah, that's me. Oh, that's me, that's me, that's me. Yes, I'm a fraud. Call me a liar. A true psychopath.
Hello. How is everybody on this Sunday evening? Gosh, it feels like forever. Actually, it feels longer than that. It feels like forever since I've been live. Let me say hi to everybody. Let's see who we got in here. Hey, Music City Mom. Welcome back to memberships. Oh, you're a newborn. Hey, Chase. Hey, Lisa. B. Crumbs. Law Nerd Amber. Cool Gamer. Hello. Hey, Becky P. Hey, Sexy Wild Thing. Carol freaking Claus. Hello. Let's see. Hey, Rachel. Amelia Sparkles. Hello. Good to see everybody. True Crime Crazy. Hello. Hello, Crime Curious. Good to see everyone. I'm so glad to be back. Let's see. I think I got everybody. Yeah, I think so. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I apologize. It wasn't intentional. But hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Before we get started tonight, let's hear a word from our little sponsor real quick, okay?
And Kai, when you're on Jen Lou's channel, what do you do with the like button?
Smash, smash, smash! Yeah.
Okay, and I just want to make a little announcement really, really quick. Hey, Anonymous, that has to do, hey, KPM, that has to do with Kai. We all know that at the beginning of this year, Kai, his stories were featured on Netflix, right? They did a documentary, and basically I mean, it's a good documentary. I recommend it. You should watch it. It was good. But what they mainly focused on was basically the rise and the fall of Kai, meaning how he got, sort of famous is probably not the right word, maybe more like infamous after that situation with the guy who hit a gas worker with his vehicle, pinning him in between his vehicle and the work truck and almost unaliving him. And then the woman that he attacked and all of that, right? And then they went to court, blah, 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 right? Well, after that, Kai kind of got infamous and but then he was accused and is now convicted of killing a man. And my friend Mo, that you guys know, Rottweiler Investigations, she requested Kai's interrogation video and it is on her channel. But when she requested the interrogation video, she also requested Kai's case file. And there's quite a bit of interesting stuff in there. So on October 7th, I will be premiering a video just about Kai and that specific case. The gentleman that he is convicted of murdering, his name is Joseph Galfi. And so there was some really interesting things in the case file that were not included in the documentary on Netflix. And so I thought, hey, Butterfly Kisses, hey, Neat Noodle, good to see you. So I thought that I would make a video for you guys and talk and all of that. So that's on October 7th. And then that's okay, Chase. You'll get to know people soon enough. We're a fun group over here, for real, for real. So that'll, like I said, that'll be October 7th. And then tonight, what I wanted to do was just give some just a brief catch ups on some of these cases, these trials that I watched while I was away. I watched the Sidney Powell case. That case is a daughter who was on trial for stabbing and using a cast iron skillet to kill her mother. And the motive put forth by the state was that she had been suspended from college. And rather than face that and the consequences of that behavior, when she was confronted about it, she killed her mother, and then came up with a lie and said there was a break-in. And anyway, but her defense was that she was not guilty by reason of insanity. And her defense team contends that she is schizophrenic and that she had been showing signs of being schizophrenic for quite some time leading up to the murder, but nobody, it's not that they went unnoticed or that nobody cared or nobody was paying attention. It's just that the way that she was manifesting some of the symptoms of her schizophrenia were not typical, although she did have some typical symptoms. Like she did say that she saw things that were not there and that she had auditory hallucinations as well. So in the end, the jury convicted her and they sentenced her. And we're going to watch a little bit of that. And then the other case that we all followed and that sort of came to a resolution while I was, taking my break is Henry Dinkins. Now he has not been sentenced yet. His sentencing, I believe, is this month. I think it is at the end of this month or the middle of this month. I'll have to get back to you with that exact date. But he was definitely found guilty. Now that was a bench trial, so the judge heard all of the evidence, and my friend Crime Curious did a whole trial story on that on her channel, along with the judge reading his findings. And I think the thing that I was most compelled by with respect to Henry Dinkins and the judge's verdict was the evidence that he found carried the most weight. And one of the things that he found that carried the most weight and pointed to his guilt was his biological son's testimony. And I thought that that was very interesting because it was such a contentious, hey, Nana, it was such a contentious, hey, Alex, it was such a contentious cross-examination. And to be fair, I didn't care for it. I understand what a defense attorney's job is. Okay. I get it. And I support it. I support our justice system in the United States, both sides of it. Okay. But I thought that there would have been a better way to cross-examine DL on the stand. I just didn't like I didn't care for this particular defense attorney's approach. And I think that he did that in the way that he did it because it was a bench trial. I think that had it been a jury trial, I don't think the cross-examination would have gone that way. And the reason I think that is because most juries don't like it when, especially a child, is cross-examined in such an aggressive manner. And I think it would have, I don't know, you're not in trouble. Usually I say Allie. I don't know why I said Alex. Probably because I was in the middle of a spiel and I looked over and saw Alex. No, you're not in trouble, babe. Hey, Punksy. So I really feel like that's the way that went. The reason it went that way with DL is because it was a bench trial, and judges are very good. This is why they're judges, because they've been doing it for years. At removing their own personal emotions from the situation while they're hearing the case. The time that they even express any feelings about the defendant and their crime is at the end, typically during sentencing. So I'm sure we will get to hear from the judge more about how he feels with regard to all of that when Henry Dinkins is being sentenced. And then there was the Johnathan Quiles case. That's a local case to the Floridas. It's up in the Panhandle. Hey, Princess Megan, Elsa. Hey, Catherine from Utah. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it. I just made it right before I was on Allie's live. Allie, not Alex, Allie. So I watched that trial, and basically what that trial was about was he is convicted now. He was accused of murdering his niece. Now, this was his niece by marriage. It's still icky. She was 16 at the time, and he was sleeping with her, and he got her pregnant. And he did not want her to have the baby. He did not want anybody to know that that child was his. It was a little girl. They were going to name her Hazel. It was an incredibly sad case. This girl, everybody that testified, as far as like victim impact statements and everything, just spoke so glowingly of her, and she just had so much potential. And she was just, killed and tossed like trash. And what cinched the deal for him was his brother was called him, and they recorded the phone. The FBI recorded the phone, or the police recorded the phone call, and he made some admissions on that recording. So he was found guilty, and because it is Florida, and both of the victims were young, particularly, 16, and then the baby, she was 5 months pregnant with Hazel when she was killed. He was up for the death penalty, which we're not going to watch tonight, but we will be revisiting that case and that portion of it. And the reason why is because we have Idaho 4 coming up, okay? And the death penalty is on the table. And I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to see sort of how when a person is convicted of a capital offense in a state that has the death penalty, and the death penalty is on the table, what happens, how that goes. It's pretty similar in all courts, but because at this point, I do not think that I don't know what we're going to get to know from the Idaho 4 case. Like, I don't think there's going to be cameras in the courtroom for sure. Maybe they'll do it like they did Lori Daybell with the audio after the fact. I don't know, but I kind of wanted you guys just to see so that you would understand, and how it kind of works, and what if Brian Koberger is convicted, sort of the process for that, and why when there are high profile cases like the Idaho 4 case, and then you have on top of it, you have the death penalty, why Judge is being the way that he is being, and why the defense and the prosecutor are being the way they're being, with respect to keeping the details very private, very close to the vest until the actual trial, because it is very difficult. It's difficult to seat a jury in a high profile case to begin with, but it's even more difficult to seat a jury in a high profile case with the death penalty. So a lot of people are for the death penalty, right? They're pro death penalty, but they don't necessarily want to be the person or one of 12 people who doles out that type of punishment. So there you go. So that's that. Now on to the one that we all want to talk about, and that is Taylor Schabusiness. So we are going to watch that. Give me just uno momento, and I will get over to the YouTubes. I meant to have this pulled up. Hopefully Modine is not in the chat, because he really doesn't like it when I be doing this. He likes for me to have it all ready to go. So that's my bad. But I would encourage you guys, if you are, if anything I said was interesting about those cases, the Sidney Powell case is on Court TV. I did not see it on Law and Crime. Henry Dinkins is on Law and Crime and Court TV. Johnathan Quiles is on Law and Crime and Court TV as well. But they were really good. They were really interesting trials. And then, of course, we get to the Taylor Schabusiness. So let's get over to Taylor Schabusiness. Let's pull that up really quick. Hold on. I meant to click something else and I didn't. We are not going to watch the entirety of we're just going to watch the end of it, of the sentencing, and I'll tell you why. To be perfectly honest with you, like I said, I do completely and totally respect the justice system, and I respect both sides of it. And I will say, given the fact that she had attacked her previous defense attorney in the manner that she did, and I mean, y'all, we watched that video. That came out of absolutely nowhere. You couldn't even see it. I mean, there was nothing. She was all this kind of like Letitia with the dadgum Monster energy drink can. I mean, it came out of nowhere, like she just, one minute she was sitting there, next minute she just all hell had broken loose. So anyway, we're going to watch the end of it. But before we get started on that, the reason I'm not playing the entire thing is because, to be quite honest with you, I understand that her defense attorney, and like I said, I think that they had a really good rapport, which I'm really surprised about, because I would be apprehensive just as a human being. True crime crazy. Yeah, that one. Whew. When her grandmother testified, it made me sad, because, you have to really do something to make it where, in the majority of circumstances, obviously not every family is like this, but for most people, you can really do no wrong in a grandparent's eyes. I know I couldn't. On either side, on both my parents' side, but I was particularly close to my dad's parents, my nana and my tata, and I could do my nana, I could do maybe like 1% wrong, but my tata, I could do absolutely no wrong. And so when she was testifying, her grandmother was testifying, it reminded me a lot of my nana, and how it was just sad, because I do think that it's very, very clear that Taylor Schabusiness has some mental health issues. I don't think that is in dispute. Do I think that she meets the criteria under the law for a not guilty by reason of insanity? No. She did too many things to cover up the crime for me to believe that. I think she wanted to do it. That's just what I think. I think that the meth got a hold of her. And I think that once she got the idea in her head, the idea excited her. And I think that she killed him. And I think that she, on some level, admired Dahmer. And I think that she wanted to emulate him. That's what I think. Hey, Diane Marie, good to see you. Hey, Brandy. So yeah, that's what I think. I do think that she has mental health issues, and I think they go back a long, long way. And you could see that from her grandmother's testimony, really, that her grandmother really just wanted her to get help. She knew that she needed to be punished, but she also knew that she has mental health issues. And I think I was probably the most moved and surprised by Shad's father speaking, because he addressed Taylor directly, and he said that he forgave her. And he did say that he wanted her to have a chance for parole. And I was very, hey, criminality, good to see you, babe. I was surprised by that. Because you don't often hear that. I was very surprised by that. But let's get over here to this, and let me play this a little bit, and then we're going to take a break, and I'm going to talk about some things because hello. All right, here we go.
Another sentence. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, Ms. Schabusiness, this is your opportunity to address me if there's anything on your mind you'd like to say before I pass sentence.
No, there isn't.
All right, we're going to stop right there. Now, I know what this is that she is wearing on her face. It is a spit guard. Can't even talk. But to me, y'all, the first time I saw it, let me just tell you what my mind went to. Why they got Taylor Schabusiness with Mr. Ed's feed bag on her face. That is what I thought. To me, it looks like a feed bag, like for a horse. And the other thing that I was having a struggle with is right here. Now, let me change the quality of this because it's kind of low resolution. Oh, it says it's 720. It doesn't feel like oh, there, that's way better. Okay. You see this bun here, and then you see this right here. The entire time, all of the statements were being given, all of the testimony, all of the people that were either asking for her to be locked up for the rest of her life or maybe given some leniency. I was hearing all of the testimony and I was absorbing it. Okay. But what I was focused and distracted on was this bun thing right here. And then this part right here, because I honestly was trying to ascertain if she had her hair pulled up into some sort of like a bun. And then this spit guard / feed bag was attached in some way, that's how they had it tied. It was very, very distracting. And I at one point, I got up to the, it does kind of look like tidy whities. I'm not going to lie. At one point I got up and I walked over to the TV, and let me just say this, don't do this, y'all. It doesn't help and it's really bad for your eyes. But I got right up to the TV just so I could figure it out. Now, had it been like, you could do this back in the day with the old tube TVs, okay? But these new flat screens, you can't, all it does is make it real pixelated. It does not, you can't see shit. It doesn't help. It is very, very bad. And it still has not resolved the underlying question of, is that her dadgum, is that a feed? Is it tied to that freaking bun? Hold on. It was a source of consternation through the entirety of this whole situation. And I have to tell you, the other person I was most looking forward to hearing from was the judge. And the reason why is because he was so stoic, the way that a judge should be during the trial and all of the rulings that he gave and all of that. Okay, finally some resolution. Thank you, Neat Noodle. The thing that looks like a bun is actually part of the spit mask. Her hair isn't up. See, this was a source for me of, like I said, of consternation the whole time. And now I feel like I've had closure and resolution to it. And my question has been answered. So thank you for that, Neat Noodle. I appreciate that. While I'm thinking about it, let me drop some links for you guys just really quick that are handy dandy. if you need them before I continue. Especially this Music Melts one, because Nadine has the absolute best smelling wax melts on the entire planet. I don't care what anybody says. I will fight you in the streets about it. They are the best. And then this is for my pal Allie. I never remember if I have it as Alex or Allie. We'll find out in a minute. Okay. I think it's Allie. Yes, it is. Okay, hold on. I always forget this part. All right, there we go. Hopefully that's right. There it is. Okay. So those are, I gave you my membership link if you're on an iPhone. If you want to join memberships, I would greatly appreciate it. It does help support the channel. And I've got some really cool content coming. Like I said, I'm on the 7th. I'm going to be premiering the story of Kai, the hatchet wielding hitchhiker. His real name is Caleb McIlvery. But I'm going to do a video on that. I'm working on a video right now, a documentary. I'm just waiting for us to get more of the stuff from the case file for Gannon. I'm working on a documentary for Gannon. I'm going to, it's going to be mainly, oh, thank you, Anonymous. Thank you for joining. Welcome to the Hookaloos. I appreciate you. And then I have another video that I'm working on about a serial killer that isn't often talked about. And so I got some stuff coming. So if you, and I'm going to do, my tiers all are really, one of them, I can't remember which one it is I promised members videos. So I need to make members videos. So I'm going to be working on that now that I have all this time on my hands and I'm an empty nester. So there's that. Hey, Pretty Bug's Tail. Good to see you. So there you go. All right. So let's hear from the judge, because this is again, after all of the character witnesses or the victim impact statements, really is what it was for Shad. And then the character witnesses for Taylor, I was most interested to hear the judge's take on everything. So we're just going to listen to a little bit of this, just the beginning, and then I'm going to let you go. This wasn't going to be a long live because tomorrow night's live will be a long live. So buckle up. Bring your snacks, bring your beverages, because you're going to want to stay hydrated. Okay, here we go.
Okay. Very good. Well, then, when passing sentence on cases like this, the court has to consider the factors set forth in State versus Galleon. So I have to consider the gravity of the offense, the character of the defendant, the need to protect the public, as well as other aggravating and mitigating circumstances, including rehabilitative needs and punishment and deterrence, and then craft a sentence in each case that's appropriate.
I forgot one thing that I wanted to say. So the day before her sentencing, everybody was up in arms because the rumor was floating around that Taylor Schabusiness was going to speak at her sentencing hearing. And I have to say, Taylor, Miss Schabusiness, I was very angry when I found out that you were not going to speak. I think you should say something. You should, at the very least, apologize. It doesn't do anything. It's not going to bring Shad back. It's not going to take away the hurt. But the truth of the matter is what you did was particularly offensive and foul is not just the crime itself and not just the dismemberment, although those two things were disgusting and foul in their own rights. But it was the fact that Shad was your friend, and he wasn't like a new friend. Okay. It's not like you guys knew each other for a couple of days or anything like that. Or maybe, a month or so. He wasn't a new friend. You guys have been friends for a very, very long time, and he trusted you, which is why he even agreed to do meth with you. So knowing you're crazy as fuck. So that is why I feel like at the very least, you could have apologized, ma'am. All right, here we go.
In this case, when I consider the defendant's character, I can say that over the course of this case, I've learned a great deal about you, Ms. Schabusiness. First of all, you were born in Chicago, lived there until you were about age 10, 12 rather. You seem to have had a stable childhood. You were loved by your mother and your father and your brother. And unfortunately, your mother passed away when you were 12, your brother passed away in a vehicle accident, and your dad's incarcerated. But I'm confident that all three of them probably still love you very much. Her father's employment was transferred to Green Bay when she was about 12 years old, and hence began the contact Ms. Schabusiness had with this community. She attended Bayport High School. At about 16, she moved to Texas to live with her grandfather. She graduated from high school in Cotulla, Texas, and eventually came back to Green Bay because she missed her father and her brother, which again doesn't surprise me any because, as I've indicated, I think they both love her very much. She's worked in this community. I read over the pre-sentence investigation report that I ordered, and that outlines some work experience that she has, and I think that's a favorable character trait because, quite frankly, not everyone that lives in this community does work, and I think it indicates someone who wants to get out and support themselves and not make anybody else do it. But that reflects on character. She has a limited court record. Certainly, we have pretty much the entire extent of her criminal record in front of us here today. But it's a limited record that reflects on character. She's got a family who cares about her. And although sometimes I think people take that for granted, if you sit in this courtroom long enough, you'll realize that you should never take your family for granted because so many people come in sitting in that chair in an orange jumpsuit and have absolutely no one who will come in and say, I'm with her. And that takes a little bit of fortitude to come in and do that. And frankly, today she's got extended family that comes in and does that for her because her direct family are unable to do that for various reasons. And so I think that speaks to Ms. Schabusiness's character because there's people in this world who find value and worth in her that they're willing to come in and stand behind her. So I think that reflects on character.
I have to agree with the judge here. We've seen it many, many, many times. How we've watched sentencing many times. We've watched entire trials. And I'll give you a example, one that we just watched and we're still, talking about Letitia. There was, she had the only people that showed up to the trial that were family of hers testified against her, i.e. her daughter and her brother. And then when it came time for sentencing, although it's mandatory in Colorado, it's, judges they will listen. And she didn't have anybody that wrote to the judge on her. Not only did they not show up, wrote to the judge and said, look, Letitia's, crazy as a bed bug. And she, needs help. She needs to be punished for what she did, and she needs to be punished for the rest of her life. But while she's being punished, can she also get help? And Taylor Schabusiness's family did do that. They did come in. Her father came in. He testified for her at the trial, and then he came in for her at her sentencing phase, and he testified that, look, I did the best that I could as a father, but I'm also locked up. She lost her mom, and then she lost her brother, and it messed her up. It's not an excuse. And, I just think that's, the judge is right when he says that. There are a lot of defendants who nobody speaks for them. The only thing that people know about them as a human being is their crime.
I'm cognizant of the fact that she began using drugs at a very young age, marijuana at age 12, cocaine at around 18, and methamphetamine at around 18 as well. And we've heard a lot of testimony about drug usage.
Yeah, that's true. Taylor did use a lot of drugs. And I will say this too. I want to point this out about the spit guard / feedback / Fruit of the Looms that Taylor is wearing. If she's wearing that to her sentencing, it's because she acted a straight fool prior to being in court. So probably on the transfer to the courthouse, or at some point while she was away, back where they hold them, when they're about to go on trial or whatever, those holding cells. Anyway, so yeah, that's, she must have acted a straight fool. But I will say this, the reason why I don't think that Taylor Schabusiness should be paroled is this, because part of what makes Taylor dangerous is her mental health. And that in and of itself isn't what is the dangerous part. The dangerous part about Taylor Schabusiness is that she doesn't treat her mental health. There was a lot of testimony during the sentencing phase that basically Taylor had to be mandated, forced with injectables to take her psychiatric medication. And the truth of the matter is that she may be able to maintain and be leveled out and keep her mental health illness symptoms at bay when she takes her medication. But the problem is that she doesn't take her medication, and when she stops taking her medication quite frequently. And the truth is that she's a loose cannon when she doesn't take her medication. Taylor has a history of of being violent and aggressive when she's not on her medication. She had, prior to this, to the murder of Shad Therian, she has she was already on probation, and I think even out on bond, if I'm remembering correctly, before she committed this crime, because for running from the cops. And when the cops caught up to her, she got in an altercation with the police and was violent and aggressive. We all saw what she did at her at one of the status hearings. She attacked her attorney, and there is a history and her psychologist testified to this, that they thought that she was taking her medication and she wasn't. So she's dangerous. So I'm going to skip ahead to the part where he actually gets down to it and see what she gets.
Diminish the severity of the offense. But at this time, given all the factors that I have to consider, it's the decision of this court and the judgment of the law that Ms. Schabusiness be sentenced as follows. As to in 22 CF 363, count 1, that's the first degree intentional homicide as a repeater. It's a Class A felony. Going to impose life imprisonment without the possibility of extended supervision. I believe that's appropriate in light of the findings that I've already made. As far as count 2, mutilation of a corpse as a repeater, a Class F felony, I'm going to adopt the recommendation of the pre-sentence investigation writer, 7.5 years of initial confinement followed by 4 years of extended supervision. That'll be consecutive to count 1. As far as count 3, third degree sexual assault as a repeater, Class G felony, I'm going to impose 3 years of initial confinement followed by 4 years of extended supervision. That will be consecutive to count 2 and count 1. As far as the revocation cases, I'm going to impose 1 year of incarceration on each of those counts. Those will run concurrent to the other offenses. I've reviewed, as I've indicated, reviewed both of the pre-sentence investigation reports. There's certainly valuable things in them. I'm going to, as conditions of supervision, I'm going to require no contact with the victim's family, maintain absolute sobriety, complete SOT assessment and treatment follow through, obtain and maintain full-time employment. To the extent there's ever supervision, GPS monitoring, I'm going to require an AOD assessment and follow through, psychological evaluation and follow through. The recommendations that are contained in pre-sentence investigation report submitted by the defense indicates or suggests that there be services engaged in for substance abuse and other mental health issues. That's a reasonable suggestion. And I think I've encompassed it in the recommendations that I made, which is there needs to be a compass evaluation and follow through with any treatment recommendations that are proposed. But again, an AODA assessment and follow through and psychological evaluation so that Ms. Schabusiness can get the help that she needs while she serves this sentence. I'm going to order court costs. It's $538 per count. That's a total of $1,614. That'll be the order of the court. I do need to indicate, as I'm required to at sentencing, that now that Ms. Schabusiness is convicted of a felony, she'll lose her right to vote until it's given back to her by the governor or by state law, and she may not possess a firearm or wear body armor.
All right, so now this part confused me, okay? But let me answer this first. So, Patricia, I think the deal with Letitia, excuse me, you guys, sorry, I still have Gannon on my brain. I think the deal with Taylor Schabusiness is that I believe she's been diagnosed as a bipolar. And I know that with some people who have bipolar, when they take their medication over an extended period of time, they get relief and then they feel like they're, for lack of a better word, cured. That's part of the mental health disorder or disease, is that they feel like they don't need it, that they're better. And I will say this, because I have personal experience with this. My mom was bipolar, and it took a very, very, very long time for them to get the right combination of medication for her. And the time between the diagnosis and the finding the right combination of medication was agony, not just for my mom, but for the family too, to watch her, because they would put her on some medication and she would feel like she was a zombie. And it's hard. And so for me, this part was confusing because he's talking about the supervision, and I guess he has to do that. But the way that he ordered the sentences is that she got life without the possibility of parole. They don't call it life without parole in Wisconsin. They call it life without the possibility of extended supervision. It's essentially parole. But the way that he sentenced the other charges, the other counts, were to run consecutive to the murder charge, which means that she would have to do the entire life without the possibility of extended supervision before she would even begin serving the time on the other three counts. So I didn't understand any of that. Bottom line is she's not going. And hey, Bendy, I'm reading the chat. Hey, Nadie. Hey, Bendy. I'm Bendy. Oh my God. She was, Patricia. She's been prescribed medications off and on many, many times. Now, as far as new medications, that I don't know. But anyway, she had just, before she committed this crime, she was held, she had a civil commitment at Nicolay, I think is how you say it. That is like a 5150 or a Baker Act if you're from the Floridas. And that's where she was getting the medication injected because she refused to take it orally. So she did, I know, but I'll just be calling everybody by the wrong ass name today. But anyway, so I don't think it was new medication, but like I said, it takes a lot, and it takes a concerted effort really on the part of the mental health professional, the patient, and the patient's family, because when we would talk to my mom's psychiatrist, and we would advocate for her when she would say that some certain medications made her feel a certain type of way. We would be in there with her to say, yes, she lives with us. We see it. This is, this medication, I notice when she takes it, she's really lethargic. She's out of it and she's not my mom. What can we do? So it's very, very, very difficult. And so, yeah, but he's essentially sentenced her to forever. Yeah, Nadine, it's been a day. It's been a day. So, she can't even hear me calling her the wrong name. That's funny. Well, if you watch it on the replay, you'll see it. So, will somebody tell her to watch it on the replay for this part where she came into chat so she can hear her call her the wrong name? So yeah, anyway, that's the deal with Taylor Schabusiness. And the thing about what I noticed about Taylor throughout the entirety of this process, all of it didn't really matter who was speaking or even what they were saying. She was somewhere else. She had it was very reminiscent of the way that she looked during the trial. She did the squints. She fidgeted a little bit. But when you look in her eyes, it's just nothing. If you've ever watched the Never Ending Story and they talk about the nothing, I honestly don't think when they're talking about the nothing, they're talking about it like the way, I mean, they had to make it the way they made it because it's obviously a film. So it's visual. But whenever I think about, like, if you just listen to them talk about the nothing, right? And you're not looking at all, just close your eyes and listen to it. It is the way they describe it is the way that when you look into people's eyes who've killed somebody or multiple somebodies and there's nothing there, that's the nothing. And it's kind of scary. She's very, very detached from anything and everything that's going on around her. And I don't know, because I don't know Taylor personally. I can only say how I've seen her behave, and that's just kind of how she is. And so I feel like I have watched cases, I have watched trials where the person who committed the crime actually did have a mental health disease or defect that impaired their judgment at the time of the crime. They're true not guilty by reason of insanity cases. Like, for example, Andrea Yates. Once she was medicated and level and stable on her medications, when she realized what she had done, the gravity of it, she was remorseful. She cried. She was heartbroken. She cried the cry of a mother who's lost their children and all at the same time is the one that took their children's lives. Her cry of anguish was, it came from her soul and you could tell. And I just don't see that with Taylor. And there's another trial I want to tell you guys that just got decided. So remember the case in Florida, and now the girl's name is on the tip of my tongue, but I cannot remember it. She's the former ballerina who is accused of shooting her husband. And we watched part of that hearing to figure out if she was going to be able to use the stand your ground defense. Let me make sure and let me double check, but I believe that I read that the judge said, nope. But let me just make sure. Let me just check on that because that one's coming up soon too. And of course, we're going to be watching that. There's a lot of really interesting trials coming up. There is a trial that starts Monday. It's another Florida case. I'll tell you what it's about. Hold on, just let me tell you right now. Where is it at? Oh, Sidney Powell got sentenced to 15 years to life for the mother, for murdering her mother. Where is it? I just saw it. Well, shoot. It starts Monday. I just saw it on Court TV on their community tab, and now I can't find it. Rats. Anyway, it is a man who's on trial for keeping his adopted son locked in like a garage / like makeshift bedroom. And that one starts on Monday. So, and there's the, yes, here it is. Ashley Benefield. Judge denies Ashley Benefield's claim that she acted in self-defense when she shot and killed her husband, Doug Benefield. The judge says, quote, she was not justified in using deadly force. The Black Swan murder trial will move forward on November 29th. But now I can't find that dadgum other trial. Oh, and Murdaugh. Let's talk Murdaugh too. Okay, on Murdaugh, he pled. Hey, Wolfie, good to see you, babe. Richard Chase. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you so much. That's the one. He pled guilty to all of the federal charges. And I'm sort of curious how this is going to go, because I don't really understand the point of pleading guilty to all of the federal charges while pleading not guilty to the state charges. And so what I'm curious about is if this was not a, oh, I missed you too, Wolfie. I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad to be back. I missed all of you guys. I really missed going live, and I'm not even going to lie. I'm just going to put this out here right now. You know, I'm missing my mini Bindi terribly. It's only been a week. And I'm probably going to rely on my true crime community, you know, for like to show up to my live so we can talk true crime as a distraction as I process all of this. Like, I know this is what's supposed to happen. This is healthy. You know, this is what she's supposed to do and all of this stuff. But, oh, thank you, Wolfie. But it's hard on a mama. All right. So anyway, I'm going to need that. So I'm probably going to be, I say this frequently, but I feel like this is going to be it for reals. Like, I feel like I'm going to need you guys. I'm going to have to be with you guys all like live a lot. So there you go. But what I was curious about is, yes, federal time is easier. Federal prison is easier. But this is the other thing that I was thinking. I was thinking about, did he say not guilty? Because he and his attorneys are well aware that his co-conspirator, Corey Fleming, was going to be pleading and getting sentenced that day, right? And it's the same judge. So maybe he said not guilty to force, you know, a continuance, and then they're going based on what Judge Newman gave Corey Fleming. Then they'll form the idea, you know, their plan for whether they're going to plead, or go to trial. I'm curious about this. I have to say though, thank you, Fetch Banana. I have to tell you though, when Dick Harpootlian stood up. Now, see, this is why I like Dick Harpootlian. Like, I don't know him, so it's not like I like him as a person, but I just like who he is in the courtroom. Okay, when he stood up, when he talks, he looks like the Muppets, the Statler and Waldorf, and I have to Google because I can never remember which one is which. He looks like the shorter one, obviously. But he talks like Foghorn Leghorn. So when they were trying to finagle, like when they were going to come to court next, and here comes Dick Harpootlian talking about, Your Honor, I was going to go out of the country to see my wife. She's out of the country. I was like, Poot, Are you really sitting up here bemoaning the fact that now you can't go out of the country? Are you serious? That's a you problem, sir. That's not a court problem, which is pretty much what Judge Newman told him, which I thought was hilarious. Oh, thank you, Cassie. I do too. I love our community. So, you did Nonstop Mom. She was sentenced to 15 years to life. I did not, and I have to tell you guys, I didn't buy any of her bullshit. Do I think that it's possible that she's schizophrenic? Yes. But the thing is, what negates the legal definition of not guilty by reason of insanity is it doesn't matter what you do, how big or how small it is after the fact. If you do anything after the fact to avoid taking responsibility for the crime, avoid being arrested for the crime, any of that nonsense, right? Hold on, I gotta plug my computer. About to die. Oh shoot, I don't think my charger is in. Well, let me make it quick. The lies after the fact, the lie about somebody breaking in and all of that, that negates the not guilty by reason of insanity defense in all states that allow it. I did not think that she should get off. I didn't think that she should get off on it. I didn't think, I didn't buy any of it. So, but my laptop's about to go. So, and the charger is not in here with me. I can't believe I did that. What a numbskull. Anyway, that's the type of professionalism you get here at the ward, forgotten chargers and the like. But I will be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. I cannot wait to discuss this next thing with you. I think you guys are going to like it. It's a case that I think some of you will probably be familiar with. Some of you won't, but it doesn't matter because we're going to go over it from the beginning. And I think that it's going to be a two-part situation. And then Jen, Crime Curious, and I are both huge fans of American Horror Story. And the new season just premiered where there's 2 episodes in. But if you have cable, it's on FX on Wednesdays. If you watch through Hulu, it's on the next day, Thursday. So Jen, Crime Curious, and I are going to do or I should say it like this, Crime Curious, Jen and I are going to start doing recaps and discussions of the episodes starting every Saturday night. So you don't want to miss that on the second channel. That's the A Dose of Reality with Jen Liu. I will, also YouTube changed their app on the phone or whatever. And so everything is like moved around. No me gusta. Okay. I feel like a dog when you move their food bowl. It's very rude and I don't appreciate it. Let me put the link for that for my second channel. So we're going to be starting that again. And also yes, meth does cause psychosis. While I'm thinking about it, given that it's Halloween, and while I was on my break, not only did I watch a ton of true crime, I also watched a ton of horror movies, and I will be giving you, those are going to be videos, because I really want to focus on this channel going live and talking about all these interesting cases that are coming to trial. Okie dokie, artichokes. So I want to thank you guys all for being here. Welcome to the new members. Thank you to the ones that rejoined and renewed their membership. I appreciate you guys all so very much. I missed you. I'm so glad to be back. And I want to thank you guys really and truly for when I take these breaks like this, you could be like, fuck that bitch, and go somewhere else. But you guys always are here for me. Thank you, Madeline. Welcome. I appreciate that very much. Welcome to the Kookaloos. Thank you. So I really do appreciate you guys' support. It means the most. You have no idea. Look at my Amelia Sparkles, a member for 19 months, here from Jump. Bless her heart. All right. Hey, Corey, I missed you. I didn't see you in here. Hi, and good night. All right, you guys. Longest goodbye speech ever. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Thank you so, so much for being here. I appreciate it. And for always coming back and supporting me. All right. Bye.